In the name of the most gracious, the ever merciful. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, my beloved friends, I want you to pause for a moment. Look at your hands. See the lines on your palms. They tell a story. But the most important story is not written there. It's written here in your heart. And today I want to speak to that heart. You have been through storms, I know it. You faced nights so dark you thought the dawn would never come. You've carried weights on your shoulders that felt like they would break you. You've heard whispers in your mind. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. Look at your mistakes, look at your past. And I am here to tell you something, and listen carefully. That pain was your preparation. Consider for a moment the landscape of your own mind, the terrain you traverse each day before you even encounter the world outside. What does it look like in there? Is it a place of calm, of gentle thoughts and affirming whispers? Or is it, as it is for so many of us, a more tumultuous place? A place where voices of yesterday's failures echo down the hallways of your memory, where anxieties about tomorrow build walls that seem to close in on you, where a relentless inner critic holds court, judging your every move, your every dream, before it even has a chance to breathe. This, my friends, this internal realm is where the truest, most significant battle of your entire existence is waged. Not on the fields of professional rivalry, not in the social arenas of comparison, not even in the physical challenges you may face. The most profound and defining war you will ever fight is the one that takes place silently, invisibly, between your own ears and within the chambers of your own heart. This is the journey from the chaotic, often fearful narratives of your head to the deep, knowing peace and conviction of your heart. Your head is a magnificent tool, a supercomputer of sorts. It analyzes, it calculates, it stores memories, it solves problems. But it is also a masterful storyteller, and when left unchecked, it can become a producer of horror films. It specializes in, what if I fail? What if they laugh? What if I am not enough? What if I am exposed as a fraud? It replays past defeats on a loop, not as lessons, but as proof of your inadequacy. It takes a single stumble and scripts an entire future of falling. This is the battlefield of the head, a place of projected fears and recycled pain. It is the domain of the ego, which would rather you stay small, stay safe, and stay within the confines of what it already knows than risk the uncertainty of growth. This ego whispers lies that feel like truths because they are spoken in the familiar voice of your own thoughts. Now let us speak of the heart. Not just the physical organ, but the car of the spiritual center of your being. In the traditions of wisdom, the heart is understood not as the seat of fleeting emotion alone, but as the seat of profound knowing, of intuition, of faith, and of true courage. The heart does not deal in the intricate, fearful calculations of the head. It speaks in a different language, a language of conviction, of peace, of ilmal, yakin, the certainty of knowledge. The heart knows your inherent worth is not negotiable. The heart knows that you are here by divine design, not cosmic accident. The heart knows that every setback carries a seed of equivalent or greater benefit, if only you have the eyes to see it. While your head screams about the storm, your heart whispers of the one who commands the winds and the waves. So the critical journey, the only journey that ultimately matters, is this migration from the tyranny of your thoughts to the sovereignty of your heart. It is the process of silencing the noisy committee of your fears and attuning your ear to the still, small voice of your inner truth. How do you undertake this journey? It begins with a simple yet revolutionary act awareness. You must become the observer of your own mind. You must learn to sit quietly and watch your thoughts pass by, not as a participant who gets swept away in the current, but as a witness standing on the bank of the river. You see the thought arise, I can't do this. And instead of believing it, owning it, and letting it dictate your action, you simply note it. Hey, there is the I can't do this thought again. You label it for what it is. A thought, a piece of mental chatter, not an absolute reality. This simple act of observation creates a space a sliver of freedom between the thought and your reaction to it. In that space lies your power. From awareness, you move to challenge and replace. When the head says, you are weak, you must consciously, deliberately direct your heart to respond, I have survived every single one of my hardest days. That is not weakness, that is strength in progress. When the head dredges up a past mistake and shouts, see, you always mess up, your heart must learn to whisper back, that was then. I learned, I grew, I am not that person anymore. My past is a school, not a prison. This is not mere positive thinking. This is spiritual warfare. It is the active, daily work of dismantling the strongholds of negative self, talk and building new structures of compassionate, truthful, and empowering belief. This inner battle is fought in the quiet moments. It is fought when you choose to recite words of remembrance, of gratitude, when anxiety first begins to coil in your stomach. It is fought when you choose to get up for prayer in the stillness of the night, pushing past the fatigue and the voice that says, sleep is more important. It is fought when you choose to forgive yourself for an error, to release the self-flagellation, and to resolve simply to do better. Each of these choices is a step on the path from head to heart. Each one weakens the grip of fear and strengthens the muscle of faith. Understand this, the world will throw its challenges at you. That is a given. But the intensity of your suffering is determined not by the challenge itself, but by the state of your internal world, the battleground of your head and heart. If your inner world is at war, every external skirmish will feel like a cataclysm. But if you have won the inner battle, if you have established the heart as the calm ruler of your being, then the external storms, while real, will not devastate you. You will meet them from a place of centered strength. You will have an inner citadel that cannot be breached by the opinions of others, by temporary failures, or by the shifting sands of circumstance. The victory in this greatest of all battles is the ultimate victory. It is the victory that grants you peace in chaos, purpose in confusion, and an unshakable foundation from which you can finally, truly build a life of meaning and impact. So tend to that battlefield. Guard the gateways of your mind and embark with courage and patience on the most important pilgrimage you will ever make, the journey home to your own heart. Consider the human body a miraculous creation. When it is cut, when it is wounded, the body does something extraordinary. It doesn't just patch over the damage with something foreign. It doesn't ignore the wound and pretend it isn't there. No, it mobilizes. It sends its resources to the very site of the injury, and it begins to rebuild. It weaves new tissue, stronger than what was there before, layer upon layer, until what remains is a scar. That scar is a testament. It is living proof that the body was hurt, yes, but more importantly, it is proof that the body healed. It is not a sign of perpetual brokenness, it is a monument to resilience. Now, take that truth from the physical realm and elevate it to the realm of your spirit, your life's journey, every hardship you have endured, every loss that hollowed you out, every betrayal that shook your trust, every failure that made you doubt your path. These are not merely wounds. They are the sacred sites where your character has been forged, layer by painful layer. They are your credentials. They are the divine curriculum vitae that qualifies you uniquely for a purpose no unscarred soul could ever fulfill. We live in a world obsessed with the facade of perfection. We airbrush our images, curate our highlight reels, and speak in the language of effortless success. We are taught subtly and overtly to hide our scars, to be ashamed of our stumbles, to package our lives as a seamless narrative of upward mobility. This is a profound deception, and it robs us of our true power. Your power does not reside in the chapters of your life that were easy. Your power is encoded in the chapters you thought would break you. When you lost that job, you were forced to question your entire identity. Who are you when the title is stripped away? In that terrifying space of not knowing, if you search deeply, you may have found a whisper of your true self unrelated to any profession. When your heart was shattered, you were forced to sit in the unbearable silence of your own company. And in that desolation, You may have discovered a capacity for self-love or a depth of empathy you never knew you possessed. When you were overlooked, dismissed, or told you weren't good enough, the fire of indignation that rose up, if channeled correctly, became the fuel for a determination that no casual encouragement could ever ignite. These experiences are not random acts of cruelty from an indifferent universe. In the grand design, they are divinely appointed training grounds. Think of the most resilient, compassionate, and wise people you know. I can almost guarantee you their wisdom did not spring from a life of untroubled leisure. It was carved by loss. Their compassion was not born in theory. It was forged in the fires of their own suffering, which then gave them eyes to see the silent suffering in others. Their resilience is not a personality trait they were simply handed. It is a muscle that was built rep by painful rep, by having to get back up when every part of them wanted to stay down. The most wise, the all-knowing, does not waste a single tear of a believer. That tear is recorded, that struggle is witnessed, and within that struggle is embedded a precise lesson, a necessary strength, a crucial piece of the puzzle that is your soul's evolution. So you must learn to look upon your own history with new eyes. Do not rush to turn the page on the painful parts. Do not bury those memories in a locked chest labeled regrets. Take them out one by one and hold them up to the light of a new understanding. That season of lack, it taught you resourcefulness and gratitude for provision in a way abundance never could. That period of loneliness, it taught you the difference between solitude and loneliness, and perhaps it connected you to the ultimate companion in a way you had never experienced before. That failure that felt so public and humiliating, it sanded down the rough edges of your pride and taught you humility, the foundational stone of all true growth. These are your credentials. When life presents you with a challenge that requires immense patience, your credential is the year you spent waiting in unanswered prayer. When you meet someone drowning in grief, your credential is the loss you thought would swallow you whole. You can speak to them from the scar, not from the wound, and that makes all the difference. Therefore, walk into your future carrying your scars not as hidden shame, but as earned insignia. When self-doubt whispers that you are not ready, not qualified, not strong enough, you must answer with the evidence of your own life. I have been prepared for this very moment by everything I have passed through. This challenge is not bigger than the ones I have already survived. The one who brought me through the previous storms has equipped me with the very scars needed to weather this one. Your past pains are not chains holding you back. They are the weights that trained you for the lift you are now called to make. They are the unique, irreplicable syllabus you have studied, and now you are being called to step into the examination hall of life, not as a nervous student, but as a seasoned scholar of resilience. Own your story, all of it. For in the economy of the divine, nothing is wasted. Every crack is where the light finally gets in, and every scar is where the light, having entered, decided to stay and make you glow from within. Let your life be a testament not to a perfect, unblemished surface, but to a spirit that has been tested, torn, and triumphantly stitched back together by grace, stronger at every broken place. That is your unassailable credential. That is your silent, powerful authority.